Let's start this off with a bang. Congo cholera outbreak spreads amid tense standoff. From the Associated Press. In Kibati, Congo, today, November 10th, 2008, at 1:25 this afternoon, Eastern Time, a cholera outbreak in a sprawling refugee camp has spread to eastern Congo's provincial capital of Goma, increasing fears of an epidemic amid a tense standoff between troops and rebels. The humanitarian crisis has exploded since rebel leader Laurent Nkunda launched an offensive August 28th, stopping his forces at the gates of Goma before declaring a ceasefire. Retreating Congolese troops and rebels sent the population fleeing for their lives, and sporadic clashes have broken out since then. Relief officials say they have recorded more than 50 cases of cholera since Friday. Thousands of refugees are packed into camps or sleeping out in the open, scrambling for washing and cooking water. Some 50,000. 50,000. That's the population of many small towns in the United States. Refugees have crowded around Kibati, some taken into log cabins by villagers, others living in tents or hastily built huts. Weekend clashes between the rebels and soldiers ignited concern that patients could scatter and launch an epidemic, but it appears unlikely that a European Union force will come to help stem the fighting. France failed to secure support Monday from other European Union nations for sending a 1,500-strong EU battle group to eastern Congo to bolster UN peacekeepers. Perhaps there just aren't enough resources or oil there. The fighting in eastern Congo is fueled by ethnic hatred left over from the 1994 slaughter of at least 500,000 Tutsis in neighboring Rwanda. Nkunda says he is fighting to protect minority Tutsis from Rwandan Hutu militants who participated in the genocide before fleeing to Congo. A summit of Southern African leaders said Sunday that members could, if necessary, send peacekeepers to bolster the UN force. A rebel spokesman said Monday that insurgents will fight any soldiers that I don't know if they will come and engage us. Nkunda's spokesman Babu Amani said Monday, "We won't keep silent while they kill us. We will defend ourselves." That's just one of many situations. Not to mention also that rape has become an object of a weapon of war. Many of the women in that part of the world are being raped and brutalized sexually and become pregnant, are beaten near to death, and then some stories I've heard and interviews with women who survived and escaped, crawling through the jungle to find help, eventually having babies of the very men who had beaten and raped them. This is an ongoing problem. The rapes are getting worse, and the brutality is extreme. People are suffering, and we need to bring attention to this, not just to people, but the governments of the world, to put a stop to this. Let's go on. If you want to help, there are several places you can go. There's Refugees International. I'm not sure how effective they are, but judging from their website, actually, there's Bloggers Unite right there on their website. President's Corner, Violence in DRC represents challenge for AFRICOM. The violence and displacement in the Eastern Congo illustrates, again, here it is about the Eastern Congo. The violence and displacement in the Eastern Congo illustrates the type of security vacuum that over time the U.S. can help address through its new African Command. Now, that is Refugees International at www.refugiesinternational.org. Go to their site. They're there. It asks you to get involved. They have a blog and also donations and what they do and where they do their work. Again, another site to aid people, ARC, American Refugee Committee. ARC's mission is, ARC works with its partners and constituencies to provide opportunities and expertise to refugees, displaced people, and host communities. We help people survive conflict and crisis and rebuild lives of dignity, health, security, and self-sufficiency. ARC is committed to the delivery of programs that ensure measurable quality and lasting impact for the people we serve. So that is www.arcrelief.org. There you can find many ways of helping, not just by donating, but They even have a how to help with a area that says volunteers, community fundraisers, send an ARC e-card, introduce ARC and ARC events. Now, CORE, COAR, is another site I have found, community outreach and advocacy for refugees. Community outreach and advocacy for refugees refugees are those forced to flee their home countries in fear of the loss of their lives, as we know, or liberty based on their race, religion, nationality, social group, or political opinion. You might even expect that to be in our own country here in the United States. CORE's mission: CORE supports resettled refugees in their efforts to rebuild positive, self-sufficient lives. We started as a student club, commendable, and now as an independent nonprofit organization, we continue to utilize youth leadership and community volunteerism in making positive impacts in the lives of refugees and individuals. That is at www.coreweb, that is COARWEB, coreweb.org. Stop in, and it tells you how to get involved there. Now, here's a commentary from Human Rights Watch. I need to check my time here. I've got a few minutes left. I'll give you just a little bit of it. Durban, South Africa, there is an intrinsic connection between refugees and racism. Racism is a direct cause of refugees' movements. Every year, hundreds of thousands of people are forced to flee their homes because of racial discrimination and ethnic violence, such as the Roma in Czech Republic, Kurds in Turkey, ethnic minority groups in Burma, Tamils in Sri Lanka, and Hutus in Burundi. It is therefore essential that the World Conference Against Racism, which opens in Durban this Friday, and this date there is no date here, put the spotlight on discrimination against refugees, asylum seekers, and migrants. This is the new racism of Europe and elsewhere. Throughout Western Europe, asylum seekers, refugees, and migrants have increasingly been the targets of racist attacks and harassment. A spate of anti-immigrant racist violence gripped Germany a year ago when a bomb explosion in Dusseldorf seriously injured 9 immigrants. Asylum and immigration have become hot political issues in Europe. The subject dominated the agenda during the British general election campaign this year. On and on. You can find that story at http hrw.org /English/docs/2001/08/31. This is a very old story, ladies and gentlemen, yet it is true now at this present time. So what I want to say here is it is a commendable thing that people are doing right now to think that we could at least somehow raise awareness to the fact that thousands, hundreds of thousands of people, not just in Africa, but worldwide, are suffering because of discrimination, because of ethnic conflicts, religious conflicts. Not just right here in the United States, you can find this problem. I mean, it's not just an isolated thing over here or over there. I mean, this is as bad as children in our country being abducted and abused and murdered left and right. It's just the same thing. It is people abusing people. People abusing people, whether it be children, women, elderlies, or men and women. This is a problem that is worldwide. When are we going to stop abusing each other? This is what I ask. I ask that you, in your communities out there, reach out to each other and start talking about the abuse and start communicating about what we can do as people to stop the abuse, to call attention to abusers, to embarrass them, to confront them. When I lived in Santa Cruz, there were a group of women that used to confront molesters and rapists, men who were known to be date rapers that no one would do anything about. They would encircle them on the streets and badger them and get in their faces and get very loud and start making comments right to this person and say, you did this, you did this, you did this, we know you did this, why do you do this? And bring it to the attention of people around us. This is Bloggers Unite for Refugees today, but let us not forget, this should be an everyday thing. We should all be united in support of and helping people all over the world who are suffering because of whatever horrors they're facing.